2 years ago, my mom recommended a movie to me. It's called Still Alice. It's an Oscar-winning film starring Julianne Moore. It tells the story of Alice, a brilliant linguistics professor at Columbia University. At the age of 50, she is diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease. The person who once lived for words and memory suddenly stands in front of a door that is slowly, quietly closing. Behind that locked door are her memories, her knowledge, her friends, her family, and the person she once was. Clear, independent, complete. That movie introduced me to a word I had never truly understood before: Alzheimer's. In the film, there are scenes that broke my heart. She freezes mid-speech, her mind going completely blank. She gets lost on the campus she has walked for years. She meets her son's friends, and seconds later, she cannot remember their names. As I watched, I couldn't help but think of my grandma. My parents were busy with work when I was little, so I grew up with my grandma. To me, she was everything. She was an amazing cook. She taught me how to play table tennis, basketball, badminton, and swimming. We were inseparable. But when I started boarding, I noticed something different. Every weekend, I still look forward to going back to her home for dinner. But I also noticed the grandma who never forgot anything was starting to forget things. The scenes from Still Alice felt strangely familiar. I began to worry. Was this normal? Why do people get this disease? Is it only genetics? Does everyone get it when they get old? Is there any way to stop it? With all these questions, I became a little detective. I wanted to understand this invisible lock. What I learned was both scientific and heartbreaking. Alzheimer's is not just getting old or being forgetful. It's a slow, silent collapse inside our brains. Two proteins go wrong. Beta amyloid, which builds up like plaque between neurons, blocking signals, and tau, which twists into tangles, collapsing the cell's transport system. One by one, brain cells starve and die. Memories fade, directions are lost, words disappear. Worst of all, right now, there is no cure. No pill can fully reverse it. No medicine can lock that door once it is closed. I became hopeless. I asked my mom, if there's no cure, what can we do? She told me about a volunteer program in which I could participate. She said, go and see. Try and see what you can find out. So, in the summer of 2024, I went to Chongming Island in Shanghai. I joined a shared therapeutic art workshop for Alzheimer's patients. And there, I discovered something that changed everything: music therapy. I learned something incredible. Language memory and musical memory are not stored in the same place. Alzheimer's attacks the hippocampus, the part of the brain for words, names, and events. But music lives deep inside. The cerebellum, the amygdala, the basal ganglia. These areas stay intact for much longer. That's why a person may not remember your face, but they will remember a familiar melody. Music doesn't need thinking. It doesn't need translation. It goes straight to the heart. It reduces fear. It calms anxiety. It brings back emotions, even when memories are gone. Music is the last thing the brain forgets. When memory locks the door, music is the key. When words fail, music speaks. When I learned that, I looked down at my hands. I played the piano for nearly 10 years. In that moment, I realized the thing I've been doing since I was 6 years old might be the very thing that I can do to protect the person I love the most. I was not helpless anymore. So after the volunteer program, I started doing something simple but meaningful. I teach my grandma to play the piano. I place her hands gently on the keys. Her hands are warm, a little bit shaky, like autumn leaves resting on the keys. I held her hand and we pressed the note together. The melody is simple. Sometimes it's out of tune. Sometimes the rhythm is messy. But when she plays, she smiles. To me, that smile was everything. You see, I don't know if my grandma will one day walk through that door. But I do know this. I don't have to wait until I'm a scientist to help. I don't have to wait until there's a magic pill. I can act now. I can take her for checkups. I can talk with her, walk with her, and keep her connected. I can play music with her because music builds new connections inside our brains. It gives me hope. In Still Alice, there's a beautiful line. The world is not just about loss, it's also about love. Today, I want to add, love is not just fear. Love is action. I'm always aware of the what if, so I learn about the disease, the culprit. I'm curious about the what if, so I volunteered to understand the real world. I'm determined to resolve the what if, so I use the gift I have, my hands, my piano, to guard the one who guarded me. Alzheimer's is a door that is trying to close. A cure is still in the lab. But before the medicine arrives, you are not powerless. The best medicine for someone you love is not always in a bottle. Sometimes it's a meal you share, the story you listen to, the hand you hold, the note you play together. The door may be closing, but the key is already in your hands. My grandma is 74. She's healthy, just a little bit forgetful. I hope she stays that way, and I will use my hands to keep that what if as far away from her as I possibly can. Thank you.